Hello again, my name is Steve Aparilayap, and today I will present my statistic project using the vector autoregression or VAR model. The objectives of this analysis is to examine the dynamic relationship between the daily returns of Microsoft stock and SP500 index or the GSPC, and to determine whether one variable helps predict the other over time. So, background. For this project, I used the daily closing price data for Microsoft and the SP500 index, covering the period from 2016 to 2026, which is 10 years in total. The data was obtained from investing.com and analyzed using rstudio. Since VAR models require stationary time series data, the analysis begins by testing whether the original price data is stationary before estimating the model. This slide compares the price series with the return series. The original price data shows a clear upward trend over time, meaning it's non-stationary because its mean and variance change over time. Since VAR analysis requires stationary variables, the price were converted into daily returns. After this transformation, the return series fluctuate around a constant mean without a long-term trend. The augmented decay Fuller or ADF test confirmed that both return series are stationary. Therefore, the VAR model was estimated using returns instead of prices. Sorry about that. The graph on this slide visually demonstrates the difference between price levels and return series. The upper current graphs represent the price levels, which continue to trend upward over time. In contrast, the lower graph showed the daily returns, which move randomly around zero. This confirms that converting prices into returns removes the trend and produces stationary data suitable for VAR analysis. Before interpreting the VAR model, we must verify that it is stable. Stability is checked using the inverse roots of the characteristic polynomial. A VAR model is considered stable if all inverse roots lie inside the unit circle. In this analysis, the root moduli are 0.1492 and 0.008, both of which are less than 1. Therefore, the model satisfies the stability condition, meaning the effect of any shock gradually disappears over time and the model can be used for further analysis. Residual diagnostics. After estimating the VAR model, residual diagnostics were performed to evaluate the model assumption. The residual plots fluctuate around zero without showing any clear trends, indicating that the model captures most of the systematic information in the data. However, statistical tests still detect residual autocorrelation, non-normality, and arch effects. These findings are very common when working with daily financial returns because financial markets typically exhibit volatility, clustering, and extreme observations. Therefore, these results do not necessarily indicate that the VAR model is invalid. And lastly, the Granger causality test examines whether the past values of one variable improve the prediction of another variable. The results show that Microsoft returns do not Granger cause SP500 returns because the relationship is not statistically significant. However, SP500 returns do Granger cause Microsoft returns, indicating a one-way predictive relationship from the market index to Microsoft's stock return. It is important to note that Granger causality refers only to predictive abilities and does not imply true cause and effect. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. That's all. Bye.